Kenrick Golf Belt solves the problem of how to easily find your divot repair tool and ball marker. Our beautiful, genuine leather belts are made in the USA. No more ripped pockets or searching your bag for your divot repair tool or ball marker. The Kenrick Golf Belt can't improve your swing, but it can improve your style. Raise your game today.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Golf Dudes on Golf News show. I'm Joe Calabro, co-founder of Golf News RI, and that is Rich Capali, the other co-founder of Golf News RI. And just off the bat here, I'm happy to announce that I am 2-0 in the Golf News RI Summer Series between Rich and I. I beat Rich today on the 18th hole at the championship course at Kirkbride Country Club. And so I have a 2-0 series lead. We're not exactly sure how many games we played in this series, but it will be just ongoing. So, Rich, congratulations on a great match today, and thanks for joining me this evening on this show.
Yeah, man. I had it 3-up at one point, and then I just crapped down my leg on the 18th hole, and it was over. It wasn't a good back. Had a good front, but not a good back.
Yes, it was we just beat the rain. That was the most impressive thing. I'm just trying to share this to our Facebook page. It's now can be watched on the Golf News RI Facebook page. So trying to do that real quick. So sorry for the distraction. I promise I was not getting vicious texts from fans. Big show today. Exciting week in golf. This week on Golf News RI, we had a lot more PGA Tour content than we probably will on a weekly basis for the rest of the summer. For those curious, that was by design. In some ways, I felt like this week was a big week for golf, just in general, because the PGA is one of the first sports back from the coronavirus shutdown. First sports to get going. I know obviously NASCAR started a couple weeks ago. Rich, you know better than me, but a couple weeks ago, UFC. Yeah, for those that follow that, started a couple weeks ago or so, whatever it was. But you know, the PGA Tour was the first major sport, big sport back, so I felt like it was necessary to do a lot of PGA Tour content this week. We did a lot, and this show tonight is going to be focused on the PGA Tour a lot. We're going to talk about today's round, talk about expectations for the rest of the weekend. Rich has all the insights that you might need, as I am grooming him to be the PGA Tour insider for Golf News RI. So we are working on that. I'm going to let him talk about some of the insights that he came up with. Me and him watched a bunch of it today. Not all of it, because we had our big match, but we did watch a good portion of it, and actually a lot of it. And I watched a lot of pregame coverage this morning, We tracked a lot of it on Twitter. So we're going to get to that. We do want to hit on a couple of things, local news things, right off the jump, and then we'll get to the PGA Tour later. But a few big local stories. This past Monday, at Newport National, the New England PGA held their first of 3 tournaments in Rhode Island at Newport National, and it was very successful. Our guy Peter Walsh, who's a huge contributor to the site and a huge part of why Rich and I were able to get this site off the ground and give it the success that it's had so far. Obviously, we're only two months or so in, but so far the success we've had is a huge tribute to Peter Walsh. And I asked him if he could be on the show tonight, and he wasn't able to do it. So that was too bad, but we're definitely going to get him on in the next couple of weeks or so. He shot a 77. He's finished, in the top 35 or so in the tournament, and these are pros from all over New England. So it's not a bad finish, and obviously these pros don't play a ton. At least some of them don't. He's got a clubhouse to run. He's got a pro shop to run and stuff like that. So a good finish for him. It was a great experience. We had tons of coverage of it on Golf News RI. And you can read all that stuff, and it's got a lot of traction. Newport National played great from what I was told, and things went off pretty much without a hitch. Again, from everything what I read, what I was told, and then talking to the fine folks at the New England PGA. And then, so this Monday, in 4 days or so, the New England PGA will host their second of 3 tournaments at Kirkbride Country Club. And again, as you reported a bunch of weeks ago, however long ago it was, the New England PGA is hosting their first 3 tournaments in Rhode Island, which is a pretty big deal for Rhode Island golf. And they're doing that due to restrictions in other states. Actually, some of those restrictions have kind of gone away, and so they're going to go back to their regular schedule, starting in 2 weeks. But next week's tournament is at Kirkbride Country Club, and we're looking forward to that. As my headphone fell off, things that happen on live TV, I guess. And so Rich and I have been working on some sort of game plan to do live coverage of the tournament, at least some live coverage of the tournament from Kirkbride Country Club. And I don't have a game plan for that. I don't quite have a game plan for that yet. But we do have some thoughts and some things in the works. And so we're hoping to do some sort of live coverage, live show, whatever it might be, from Kirkbride on Monday. But a cool deal that the New England PGA is going to host the second of 3 tournaments here in Kirkbride, and we'll see what happens with that. But that was kind of the leadoff thought. And again, we'll have more on what we're planning to do or what we're trying to do for Monday when we get there. And then the other thing for Monday, I just want to touch on, and then I'll let Rich weigh in, but they all kind of blend into one, is the Rhode Island Amateur Qualifiers start Monday at Cranston Country Club. And so I'm also looking into coverage for that as well. So a big weekend for Kirkbride. I guess we know where my mind is. A big weekend for golf. Not only have the New PGA and the amateur qualifiers, you also have the big Triggs member, which we'll have some coverage of, and a couple of other tournaments going on. I think King's Crossing is doing a tournament this week. I think I know Kirkbride has the 4 balls this weekend, or first round of the 4 balls this weekend. So a big kickoff to tournaments this weekend across the state, and we're going to do our best to cover it as best we can. And like I said, we'll have more announcements in the next day or two about exactly what we're trying to do. But Rich, it's tournament season, buddy. It's June, and here we go. The preseason's over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was saying that to you today, like at Kirkbride. Man, the conditions have changed since I played there last 2 weeks ago. The conditions were fantastic. Shout out to Mike Bradshaw and his crew out there. Yeah, man, they're taking off. It's tournament season. The greens are lightning fast. The rough is nice and fluffy. Fairways are pristine, and the drinks were fantastic today. Yeah, thanks for having me out there today. But yeah, it's tournament season, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I was drinking iced water with a lemon, actually. So just in case,
yeah, right.
Just in case anyone,
nice try.
Just in case anyone was curious. The other big news this week, which was not necessarily golf related, but it did it generated a lot of interest, was that Harbor Lights over in Warwick, they're a 9-hole course, and we wrote about them before. They have offered deals before, and we've had a bunch of
huge news.
Right. So huge news out of Harbor Lights. Tomorrow night, they are going to have live music with Rhode Island's own
Saturday, not tomorrow night. Saturday.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. My fault. I meant Saturday night. For some reason, I said tomorrow night. Saturday night. My fault. They're going to have live music with the Senders, an RI-based rock band. They're a big-time band. They have a big-time following. They're a real group here. And so they're going to perform at Harbor Lights on Saturday night. Reservations are recommended, but they didn't. At least they put in their Facebook post that there could be room for walk-ins on a first come first serve basis, and so that's big in two places to me. One, to get live music going back in the state. Live music is a big part of Rhode Island. I love live music. You love live music. I don't know anyone that doesn't love live music. But two, as I was saying to you and today, and somewhat jokingly in our pre-show email, leave it to a golf course to figure out how to do live entertainment while everybody else is scrambling. And the Newport Jazz Festival was canceled, and Newport Folk Festival was canceled, and obviously, that's kind of, it's not quite apples to apples. I understand that, but the general premise of it, leave it to a golf course to kind of get that going. And I know, Rich, you were telling me, and I'm not sure if you're going to be going or not, but you said that you have some interest in going to see it and see what it looks like, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll be able to go, and maybe you can generate some get some coverage for us on a Saturday night. But another big step for golf, and another way that golf is kind of leading the way back into normalcy, if you will. I thought that was kind of cool, and that's why I kind of posted it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, the entertainment scene's got dealt a big hit with this whole pandemic that's going on. But yeah, like you said, leave it to a golf course to find the time and the space to put on a show. And yeah, the Senders are a big time band. They haven't been obviously playing for a couple of months now, and they usually do a lot of shows down south. So yeah, if I can get out of work a little bit early, I might try to be one of those walk up customers, and I'll try to go live if I do end up going down there on Saturday night.
Yeah, so be sure to stay tuned to the Golf News RI Facebook page, to Rich's Facebook page, and we'll share it back and forth if he does, in fact, get there. But we'll certainly try to provide some insight into what it looks like, how it looks, how it sounds. I'm sure it'll sound great. That won't be an issue. And then go from there. But obviously, we're a golf site. We focus on golf, but when golf courses are doing cool things or innovative things, we're gonna do our best to try to promote it or try to cover it as best we can. And if Rich can get out of work early and he can do something while he's there, whether it's a Facebook Live or just a straight up video, we will do our part and try to get that shared out as fast as possible in all of our social media platforms. And maybe he can even provide some insight in an article or something along those lines. We'll see. Like I said, Rich has a full-time job, so we don't want to put too much pressure on him, but we'll see what happens if he can get there, and then we'll communicate on that night and see what we can kind of put together for everybody, whether it's on Facebook or Facebook Live or whatever it happens to be. So that's pretty cool, and I thought that was kind of a cool a good thing, and hopefully they keep it going. And they said on their Facebook post, which we posted in the article, they hope to keep it going. They hope to do a show every week, every weekend, whatever it might have been. So obviously, you start with the first one and kind of go from there. So a cool thing for Harbor Lights. Other than that, the only other big news item locally, at least that I have in my notes. Like I said, we did a lot of PGA Tour coverage this week by design. The only other big newsworthy thing to me was that Brown University, a story that we've covered kind of right from the get-go. We had insight from a Brown professor, from a former Brown coach, and talked to other people involved. The only earlier this week, Brown University announced that they were reinstating the men's track and field team and the cross country team, and so that the golf teams, are going to stay, are going to remain cut. So that was obviously sad news for the game of golf and college golf in Rhode Island. I guess for being honest, it probably wasn't completely unexpected that they were going to cut reinstate track and field and cross country, because those are major sports major sports. But obviously, you feel bad for the kids on the golf team and the coaches, and I'm not sure where exactly they're going to go from there. I know that the coaches are still trying to figure it out and figure out what's next for them and what's next for the scholarship players that they have, and go from there. But obviously, while not completely unexpected, despite the petitions and everything else, it's too bad for local college golf. So now we just have URI and Bryant to rely on, and obviously they have good golf programs. But obviously, sad news golf wise coming out of Brown University.
Yeah, man, it sucks. It sucks when sports get certain sports get pick and chose off of everything. What I think is that probably the better half of that golf team, the better players. I mean, they're all good players, but the better players. I mean, if they want to what's it called? Further their golf career,
Sure.
I don't see them maybe staying there. They might go to another golf school. I mean, Brown is Ivy League and everything like that, but I mean, if they want to further their golf career, they might actually transfer. I mean, that's not official news or anything like that. That's just my opinion. They cut funding for certain sports, and you kind of got to go elsewhere. They do that a lot with hockey, a lot with basketball, stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of those top players in that program go elsewhere.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. That's yet to be determined. But obviously, you have to believe if they have an opportunity to move on, then
Absolutely,
that's what they're going to do. But I mean, you never know, and it's still yet to be determined. So, that's kind of all I have on the local front. Rich, I don't know if you have anything else to add. If you have any Kings Crossing news, I know you're tight with those guys. If you have anything else to add, feel free. If not, we'll get into our PGA Tour coverage and we have a whole crap load of things to get to when it comes to that. And I know you're excited for that, but I want to give you the opportunity to talk Kings Crossing, or if you have any other news and notes that I might have missed that you wanted to add.
No, not anything. I haven't been there since last Sunday, but I'll be there this Sunday, teeing it up with the boys. I'll find out some information about I'm going to ask Peter about the tournament schedule coming up. I know me and you are interested about the member guest at my place. Hopefully it'll be more than one day, but I mean we'll be okay if it's just one. I mean, I don't care. It's all about the competition. But yeah, I'll talk to the management over there and see what the schedule looks like. I know they just had their icebreaker, what's it called? Blind draw last Saturday. But yeah, I'll check in with them on Sunday when I see them.
Hey, what do you think about? And this just literally just occurred to me. I didn't have it in my notes or anything like that. But it's a new. It looks like it's going to be the new trend among golf courses, not only in the state but just across the nation. The bunker rakes on the back of the golf carts. You saw it today at Kirkbride. I know Kings Crossing. At least Peter Walsh told me that they have moved to that now. So, what do you think? What do you think of that concept? And is that a weird thing? Is that a weird thing for you? It was kind of weird for me. I'm not gonna lie. But what do you think of that whole concept? Or do you think that's something that all courses are going to go to, especially as tournament season progresses here? I mean, the nitty gritty of tournament season in Rhode Island is going to be here shortly, if it's not here already.
So my whole thing about it is I've played a lot of golf, like in Florida and stuff like that. A lot of the carts have the rakes on the carts already. From a cleanliness standpoint, I like it. Nobody's touching the same rake. It obviously gets sanitized after the round, everything like that. Also, a good thing to think about too is that it doesn't happen a lot, but the rakes that are left inside, outside the bunker, stuff like that. Sometimes a rake you take a shot, a rake prevents you from going in the bunker when it really should have. So those rakes being on the carts themselves takes that advantage. Most of the time, it's an advantage out of play. It'll save you a stroke or something like that, and you're chipping out of the rough instead of chipping out of the bunker, stuff like that. So, overall, I'm in favor of having a rake per cart. Just for that, for the number one, it's clean, and number two, it's clean as it can be, and number two, it kind of levels the playing field a little bit, because I know I've been screwed a bunch of times. I mean, not screwed, but helped a bunch of times by the rake saving it from going into the bunker, or some crazy stuff like that. So yeah, I'm in favor of it. I like it.
But so, and again, this is all literally just occurring to me. I didn't, it's not on notes or anything like that. I had no plans to discuss this, but it is an interesting thing. And over the last week or two or so, and it seems to be like a new development. And I know Peter actually said that they had this at Newport National for the NAPGA tournament. And I think it's a cool thing. I think it's fine. But what happens when you have the groups that walk, right? What do you have to force them that's walking on a Saturday morning or something, right? Like today, we had those guys in front of us that were walking. Well, they don't have a bunker rake. They're not. I mean, that's unless I missed it. But I didn't see it. I didn't see a bunker.
Yeah,
so that's
no,
kind of interesting.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
'Cause
crazy.
you do have those
But
groups on Saturday.
like you said, especially at your place, like Kirkbray, there's not many walking around, so it's not usually an issue, especially during tournament play. I mean, if you're having a match between friends, then it's one thing. But that is actually a good point about, like, we have a lot of walkers at my club at the King, so I don't know how that would pan out. I don't know, if it's not really fair if I have to play out of the bunker and rake my bunker, but the walkers don't have to. They can pull it out of the bunker. So I honestly don't know how that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean that's just an interesting aspect of it, and I know people do enjoy walking. Believe it or not, I don't. I like walking once in a
No
while,
way.
and maybe if I have
Yeah.
maybe if I have a caddy and I didn't have to lug my own bag around, maybe I would enjoy it more. But people that are walking and carrying their own bags, and it could be interesting dynamic in a tournament or something, because people do walk. I mean, you have walkers at your place all the time. We do have walkers at our place. We do have people that walk on a Saturday morning or something. Guys walk. That's how the kids make money caddying. Kids double bag,
Yep.
kids carry one bag, whatever. And guys enjoy walking. Some people, I mean, again, I don't really understand it, but that's why I'm not them.
No, I lasted the 3 weeks and I was done.
Yeah, so I just think that's an interesting dynamic. And again, I didn't write any of that down in my notes. I really just randomly thought of that now because it was just kind of occurring to me. But I think that's just an interesting.
Yeah, that was a good point.
To keep an eye on. What about the people that walk? They don't get raced again, unless I missed it. Which, who knows? I could have missed it. Maybe they had a rig. I have no idea. But that's just some interesting to think about. All right. PGA Tour time. I know you've been looking forward to this since you woke up this afternoon. So the PGA Tour returned today with the first round of the Charles Schwab Challenge over in Houston, Texas, at Colonial Country Club. It was the first golf round played in approximately 90 days. I think the actual number might be 91 and 92, but nonetheless, since the first round played since March, when the tour canceled or postponed the rest of the season after the first round of the players. And over the course of the week, there's been a lot of developments. There's been a lot of interest. It was almost the coverage of it. And I'm not just talking about us. I just mean, watching Golf Channel and, following Golf Digest, which I like to read, and those kind of things. It was almost like major type coverage, just because it was such a big deal. And so the first round is over now. You told me, we talked briefly before the show, that the first round is officially over in Houston. So let's just start there. I'm going to turn it over to Rich with some leadoff thoughts or maybe he can give a quick update of the scoreboard, and then we'll just jump off from there and kind of go wherever the conversation takes us. There's obviously a lot of things to talk about. I know Rich has a lot of thoughts on a lot of various different things, and so Rich, I just want to turn it over to you. Literally take the conversation wherever you want to take it, and we can go kind of in whatever direction. But go ahead, and again, maybe if you can just give a quick update on the scoreboard for people that haven't seen it yet, or people that are trying to watch the replay later tonight.
All right, yeah. So, like I said in my article, this is like a second Christmas for me. Golf is back. I'm obsessed with the sport. So, I woke up this morning, tuned in a little bit this morning. I put up an article last night about the betting favorites and stuff like that. As we sit, I made a point that the Brooks Koepka was a decent bet at the odds. I don't remember what it was, but he's currently sitting at 2 under as the leaders sit at 7 under. Justin Rose and Harold Varner. So, like I said, Brooks doesn't I don't want to talk crap about him or anything like that. He's a great golfer. He just sometimes doesn't show up for non-major events. And I like the odds where it was. Throw $10 on it. If he wins it, you're gonna score a little bit of cash. But the non-major events, he just doesn't show up sometimes. So yeah, it's a tough bet. But anyway, so let's go down the leaderboard. Don't mind me. I'm just glancing at my phone so I can catch up with the whole thing. So we got a big day from Justin Rose and Harold Varner III. Sitting at 7 under. Huge days today from them. I know. I think Justin Rose was like 3 under through 4 on the front. Oh no, he started on the back, so he's 3 under through 4 on the back today. So now I didn't really want to bring this up, but Golf Channel brought it up while I was watching the preview, the post game. So Harold Varner had a huge day today. So he was asked a big question about the civil injustices that were happening in the past 3 weeks and stuff like that. I didn't think it was very, very appropriate, but he was a rock star. He got asked about it by the boys at the Golf Channel, and he's just focused. He played a phenomenal round today. He was sticking it to the pins. He had a great round today, and he's just focused. He's focused on his game this weekend and not on all the outside activity, although it is really important to him. Let me do a couple more from the leaderboard. We got Justin Thomas sitting at 6 under today. He had a great round today too. Joe, your boy Abraham Answer sitting at 6 under. We all know him as the great call out of Tiger Woods in the the President's Cup, and Tiger just beat him down. Another youngster too, Colin Morikawa. He's sitting at 6 under now. Just so you guys know, I'm taking all this information from the PGA Tour app. Big dog Bryson, he's sitting at 5 under along with Gary Woodland. So we got some gamers. Spieth's also sitting at 5 under. So that big group that we talked about, Rory, John Rahm, and Brooks, they're sitting at 2 under. So they were a little rusty today. So hopefully they get their second go playing today, and we'll see how it happens. And also the quote unquote boys of summer, Justin Thomas, Fowler, and Spieth. They had a decent day today. I'm not actually sure where Fowler's sitting right now, but Justin Thomas and Spieth are sitting at 5 under and 6 under respectively. So yeah, it was a good day. Weather was great. Guys were going low. So I'm excited to see what tomorrow brings.
All right, now, like I said, Rich just went through some of the leaderboard. A lot of big names up top, and lots of time left in the tournament. Obviously, the leaders at 7 under. Some of the big names are at 2 under. While that might seem like a big deficit, we've seen crazy things in golf. The tournament flips, the course changes. So that doesn't. I mean, it means. I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything. It obviously means something that these guys are 5 shots back or whatever it is. But it's not. It's not the end of the world. They're in decent position after one day. So a couple of interesting things to me and me watching the coverage was one. I didn't think Colonial didn't look like it was. I mean, it could have been, maybe it was just a TV. I mean, we talked about this briefly watching the coverage. The course looked like at least the greens looked like they were kind of burnt out along the edges. So that kind of surprised me. And Rich, that's actually something you mentioned to me, which I didn't notice right away. Then you mentioned it while we were watching. So that kind of surprised me. And two, from what I saw, and again, they don't show everybody on TV, but they show a good portion. The no fans factor didn't really seem like a big deal. These guys were striping it down the middle. I thought we were going to see lost balls and things like that because what people don't realize, and Rich, you wrote it in your preview that went up this morning on Golf News RI, and it was your first inaugural article. It was your first article, so congratulations to you on that. Yeah, party. So I thought that was going to be a bigger factor because the fans keep the balls in play a lot of times. They kick the ball back out. They stop it from going, 30 yards.
They find it deep in the rough, trees, stuff like that.
So I thought that was going to be a bigger factor. And at least from what I saw, and it's obviously rolling through one day, so I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'm not looking to who knows what's going to happen the next couple of days, but at least from what I saw, that didn't seem like it was a big factor. These guys are striping it down the middle, next shot on the green, and they move on from there. I don't know if you were surprised the same way on either of those things, or if you kind of maybe in the back of your mind thought, well, these guys are pros and it's going to be in the middle of the fairway anyway.
So it's 50-50 for me. So the foreplay boys brought up from Barstool brought up a good point too. It's like the only time, like half of these tournaments, the Charles Schwab, the John Deere Classic, all these tournaments, non-major tournaments, the crowd really doesn't become a factor until like probably late Saturday or Sunday. So I'm gonna save my judgment for halfway through Saturday and Sunday, and we can discuss it on next week about it. Just because a lot of these lower tournaments, they don't have a lot of fans to begin with, so it's not really that big of a difference. So my whole thing is I'm going to save my judgment for Saturday and Sunday, and we'll go from there, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see the rest of the tournament. I'm excited to watch it for the rest of the weekend. There's just two things that I thought. One, the Colonial thing was true. I mean, the greens, the edges of the greens look burnt out. At least to me.
Tee boxes were burnt out too.
Yep, and I thought the fans, the no fans, are going to be a bigger factor with lost balls. And again, like I said, I'm not. We're through one day, so I don't want to go too crazy over. I just thought that would be a bigger factor than it was today, at least from what I saw, what I watched, and it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal at all. So I thought that those things were interesting. I thought the coverage of it was interesting. It was fine. CBS obviously did a great job. Jim Nantz is a world-class sportscaster, world-class sports reporter. So he knows what he knows. He knows what he's doing. So we're looking forward to watching the rest of the weekend. Then we have next week with the RBC and potentially, according to those Tiger Woods stalkers, Tiger Woods could be in action next week at RBC. His yacht Privacy left Florida. Was it Wednesday morning, Rich? The days off.
Yeah, I think so.
For me. Was it Wednesday morning?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I hate to keep quoting another show, but the boys on Foreplay, Riggs, he said he had a maritime app that was tracking his boat. Apparently, it's chugging up the eastern seaboard towards the Carolinas. So, right. Hopefully, we'll be we might get treated to some goat action next weekend. Like I said, he hasn't played since the match, so maybe we'll get some first tournament play for the goat.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe we'll have some Tiger Woods action to talk about next Thursday night. Next Thursday night, obviously, will most likely. I mean, won't be as heavy as of a PGA Tour show as was today. Again, today was kind of by design, as I do think it was a big deal. But we are going to try to make time every show to talk about the PGA Tour, talk about professional golf, because it does, have an impact on all of us. I mean, we watch professional golf just like everybody else, and we're fans of it. So we're going to try to make time for it a little bit each show, and maybe it won't be 25 minutes as we did today, but we are trying to make time for it and make it a point to at least discuss some PGA Tour stuff. I know we have a couple of minutes left here. 8:15 is the log off is when our guy Pat Ford kicks us off. So couple minutes left. Rich, what do you got going on this weekend golf wise? Where are you playing? What are you competing in? Are you competing at all? And when can I beat you again in our next match?
Yeah, man. I don't know after today's pants
debacle
wrapping session. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm in the mood to compete anymore. But yeah, I'll be. I got work Friday and Saturday. I'll be back with the boys at the King. My dad, my brother-in-law, and we'll be back there. We'll be playing in the quota, the Sunday quota with all the boys. And then we just got to figure out where we're gonna play next Thursday. But yeah, I'll sign off from here. If you guys are playing this week, hit them straight. Yeah, and all you guys have a good weekend. Enjoy the PGA Tour coverage.
Awesome. I will be at Kirkbride, and be sure to tune in. Stay tuned to Golf News all weekend. We have tons of coverage. We'll have coverage of the PGA Tour. I know me and Rich are both planning on doing wrap-ups of the PGA Tour tournament. I'm going to do a game story or a match or a tournament story, whatever you want to call it. And I think Rich, at least I think we're planning on having Rich do an analysis piece, kind of like he did today, kind of a breakdown of kind of the ins and outs of what happened, maybe some details you missed or didn't see or whatever. So stay tuned for that. We'll have coverage of all the tournaments over the weekend. And also stay tuned for announcements on Monday's coverage of the New England PGA Tour tournament. The New England PGA tournament at Kirkbride Country Club. We're hoping to have interviews with players, including our guy Peter Walsh, who's been tremendous in helping us out and get this off the ground. So we try to give him all the love that we possibly can, whenever we can. We just feel like that's important. So stay tuned for coverage of that. I don't have a game plan quite yet, like I said, but that's coming. And also we'll be keeping an eye on the Ryan Amateur qualifying. Some of the most intense rounds, some of the most incredible moments come from the qualifying rounds, right? From the tournaments of the tournament. But sometimes the qualifying gives some of the best golf and some of the most intriguing stories. So stay tuned for all that on Golf News RI. I just want to quickly thank everyone for their support over the 2 months that we've been live. It's been great. And we're just looking to build one day at a time. We're adding some things here and there, adding ideas. We have things planned for the summer, for the rest of the summer. And we're just looking to build one day at a time. We're getting Rich into the writing game, which is exciting. And it should be a fun summer. We're looking forward to continuing to bring the best coverage that we can of riding golf tournaments and also continue to keep everyone updated on our own match play situation. Just a reminder, I'm 2-0. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good Thursday night. Enjoy your golf this weekend, and we will talk to you over the weekend and next week. Thank you so much. Bye.